welcome to the American Sports Connection. I am your host, the one and only Joey Railroads. I am here with my buddy Lance. We're going to go over Monday Night Raw from last night. How you doing, Lance?
Doing good. Hot here.
How hot is it?
I was up to almost 30 today, so that's what, 90?
Oh, wow.
So, I think around 90 Fahrenheit.
We were like half of that. We were like 15.
Well, I wouldn't really know. I'm just sitting here in my air-conditioned house. So
we were like in the 60s today.
See, I like that. That's nice for me.
Yeah. Like, it's been here in Jersey, like way below normal. It's like supposed to be almost 80, and it hasn't even been close. But anyway, what did you think of Raw?
It was another pretty good Raw. It wasn't bad, and it was more on the good side than bad. I liked it.
Yeah, I didn't think it was too terrible, considering last week's was pretty damn bad.
It was subpar for what we've had.
Yes, that's what I mean.
But one bad out of 5. That's pretty. We've been running. That's running pretty good for what we've had the last few years.
Okay, oh God, yeah. Considering what we had before all the NXT guys got called up, I guess we're pretty lucky,
Yeah, I like it's different. It's change. I hope as soon as the Cena and Orton and all they come back, then what's going to happen? But it's also exciting too, because what's going to happen?
I gotta say, I'm more excited out of all those groups of people for Rollins and Bray Wyatt to come back to see where they're gonna kind of fit into all this.
Oh, me too. I could care less about Cena and Orton. Well, Cena I don't mind. Cena does what he does good, but Orton, I could just wish he would just retire. I don't know. I've never been an Orton fan.
I wonder if he's going to do that, because I've read lots of reports where he's like very slowly coming back from his rehab.
Yeah, I could be, but I don't think he's ever going to be in the main event again. But who knows?
I mean, I'm not going to bash him, but and we could both agree upon this. Me and you were never Orton fans.
I just, he's just so plain to me. There's nothing exciting about him.
I would never take anything away from him with his ability in the ring. It's just his character and everything to me is just kind of like vanilla.
Very, very vanilla. French vanilla.
Well, I'll never forget. I can't remember what specific pay-per-view it was, but they had him and Sheamus start off the pay-per-view, and I almost fell asleep.
Yeah, they had them guys wrestling every night.
Yeah,
I was like, come on.
Terrible. But anyway.
And it wasn't like they just had like a 2-minute match. They were wrestling for 20 minutes sometimes. It's
yeah. Then it was like, you put this match on to start the show? Way to kill the crowd. But anyway, Raw opened up last night with Jericho cutting a promo. I was amused by this because people were basically chanting for Mitch the Plant.
Yeah, hey, that's good though. It's funny. It's they got a good. It's not the greatest storyline, but it's something.
Hey, I mean, it's pretty damn funny when Mitch the Plant's getting a bigger pop than some guys.
Yeah, like Cody's mustache back in the day or something.
Yeah. But Jericho does his promo, making fun of Ambrose, all that jazz. Big Cass, of all people, interrupts, and I actually thought he held his own on the mic with Jericho.
He did very well. I like this Big Cass. I think he's going to be a superstar. It was good because he's standing there and he's all like huge, and Jericho's looking up at him, and Jericho's trying all of his lines to psych him out, and it's just like nope. And I really liked when he put the mic down, like put his hand on the mic and kind of pushed it down. That was cool, subtle things that.
Yeah, and I just like, how some guys, when they're in that big of a moment, they'll like kind of stumble like with their words or whatever. He was very like clear, on point. Wasn't like, you know what I mean?
Exactly. He looked very professional, I guess you call it.
Yeah, because
And
remember Cesaro had that chance a while back and he screwed it up.
well, English isn't his first language. That kind of hinders him a bit. Yeah. But still, you're up in there, and you got your one shot. It's like Vince said, you better grab the brass ring wherever the hell that is. Probably hanging out of his ass. But
yeah, really.
But I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it because Jericho's always gold on the mic.
Absolutely, and I was surprised how well Big Cass held his own on the mic, considering, usually it's Enzo that's cutting most of the promo stuff.
Exactly. If Enzo wasn't hurt, he wouldn't even be there. He wouldn't even be in that spot.
No.
So that Enzo injury might be the best thing that ever happened to Big Cass. Half of wrestling is being at the right place at the right time.
Absolutely.
And he's definitely, well, it's only been 2 weeks, but he looks good. And he's a big, huge guy, and that's always good in wrestling, isn't it?
And I was going to say, and Vince loves his big guys.
And he can work. Nash was big and huge and could talk, and his work skills was okay. Test, he was really good worker, but sometimes his mic skills weren't the greatest. That kind of reminds me of those guys. I guess that's pretty obvious. Everybody sees that, don't they? He's got both.
Yeah. What I was going to say is what happened. Big Cass does his thing, calling Jericho soft after he leaves the ring, and Jericho goes on the apron and gets Cass's big boot.
Okay, this soft thing, are they saying he's like soft, S-O-F-T?
Yes.
But they can't spell it right?
Yeah, that's like a New Yorker thing.
Okay, I got it now. I was wondering, what the hell is that? Soft. You swaft. Okay, now I get it. I thought that's what it might have been.
Yeah, it's like a North Jersey, New York thing.
Okay. So that is an actual real word that you guys say over there?
Yeah, well, it's I don't say it, but people up north do.
Okay. Oh, there you go.
I mean, because where I live, and people always laugh when I say this, but there's like a line of demarcation in the state of New Jersey. Where I live is more where we sound like hillbillies, and I'll be the first to admit it. But up north, they sound more like people that live in New York.
Okay.
And it's people always laugh when I say this, but it's the honest to God truth.
Hey.
Yeah, that's where the soft thing comes from.
Alrighty.
But anyway, he gives Jericho his big boot, which I was surprised by, and then Jericho eventually goes to complain to Stephanie that they should do something about this. Why the hell did he do this? Blah blah. And she sets up the main event for the night, which was Chris Jericho against Big Cass, which I was shocked to hear.
Yeah, shocked that they didn't. I wasn't shocked that they made the match. I was shocked that it was going to be the main event.
Right.
Yeah, and I'm like, yeah, good. Up something new, something different. We don't have the same old every time.
Absolutely.
Mixing shit around.
Yeah, and I was going to say with Jericho, he's a good hand, so he's going to take care of those young guys in the ring.
Oh, I thought Jericho supposedly is being selfish. That's what people on the internet are saying. Oh man.
Yeah.
Gee, as if. But yeah, it was nice not to see a 20-minute promo. It was a promo, but it wasn't 20 minutes, and it wasn't the same people we always see to open the show.
It was entertaining.
Wasn't just it was good. It was a very good opener.
I was going to say, it wasn't like the same Authority promo.
It was definitely very good.
Yes. All right, next we had Dolph Ziggler versus Baron Corbin. I thought this was a decent match. The only thing is I was surprised they had it on Raw. I thought they were going to have it on Extreme Rules. Yeah,
I was figuring that out too, but maybe they're going for the third.
That's possible because Ziggler won one, and now I'm giving it away, but this was a good match, and Corbin ends up winning with the End of Days, but maybe that's where they were going.
Still got a lot of ways to Extreme Rules, don't they? What's it, 3 weeks away? I'm not exactly sure.
No, next Sunday.
It's next Sunday. Oh, okay. So that's
yeah, the 22nd, I believe.
Yeah, I don't have a calendar
Hold on,
around.
Let me pull up. The 22nd. The reason they're doing it on the 22nd is because if they didn't, the next weekend, the 29th, is the Memorial Day weekend here in the States.
Oh, Cena's return.
Yeah, and nobody would be home to watch the pay-per-view. I don't even know if you could call them pay-per-views anymore.
I guess some people got to pay to view them. But I don't know why people don't get the net. But like you said, I guess some people just can't, or some people just don't care. They just have enough money to just watch it when they want.
Quite a few of my friends, Lance, I know still watch the pay-per-views the old way. Like, for a buddy of mine bought WrestleMania, like, whatever it was, $70 or whatever, so he could watch it on his big screen.
Well, that's a good reason, I guess, but you could just buy a cord for less than that and plug it to your big screen. It'd be less than $70. Jeez. What's those HDMI cords? Only about, I don't know, about $30. But hey, each their own.
Yeah. I was going to say, with this Ziggler and Corbin, I liked the match. It wasn't bad.
It's good. You hardly ever get a bad match out of Ziggler, though, don't you?
Yeah, well, he's basically turned into the guy that, like, basically gets everybody ready, if you know what I mean.
Exactly.
Kind of like, I noticed he's wrestled a lot of guys that are, like, coming up from NXT. I guess maybe to get them used to, like, you know, being on the main roster, I guess you'd call it.
Yeah, well, he wrestled, what's his name there? I can't remember his name. My buddy from Penticton.
Yeah, Tyler Breeze.
Yeah, they must have had, like, 20 matches, so.
Yeah,
he's not my buddy.
He's
not my buddy. I have no clue who he is, but I just couldn't remember his name.
Nah, it's cool, but I like Corbin's finisher.
Yeah, it's a good one.
It's almost like a variation of Bray Wyatt's finisher.
It's kind of reminds me of Abyss's move.
Yes.
I think it's basically the same move, but
most people don't know who Abyss is, to be honest with you.
Exactly. When you steal other guys' moves that they don't know of, it's brand new to everybody, right?
Hey, that's Harry, wrestling. How's it going?
That's Wrestling 101, though, isn't it? It's been that way since day one, so.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Next, we had Charlotte cut a promo, and Shane eventually comes up to her when Rick is there and said that Rick is banned from ringside tonight for her match with, well, they didn't tell who her match was, but just that her match for the evening. Rick was going to be banned from ringside, and he wasn't too happy about that.
No, he wasn't. But that's Rick. He's sure. When he freaks out, it's sure funny. He does a good freak out.
He really does. It's funny. After that, we had AJ cut a promo. He had with him Gallows and Anderson, hyping up their 6-man elimination match later in the evening. The problem I have with not his promo, but just them in general, is it's like every week we're getting some version now of AJ, Reigns, Anderson, Gallows, and the Usos in some kind of match. You know what I mean?
Well, this has got to set up the big match in Extreme Rules, and obviously all of them are going to be out there at one point, you would figure.
Oh, God,
So,
yeah.
yeah. I don't know. I don't mind it.
I'm just... maybe it's just because I'm sick of the Usos and Reigns, you know?
I think we're all sick of Reigns. We're not sick of Reigns. We're sick of Roman Reigns' character at the moment.
Yeah,
but
not the person, the character.
He's getting a little better. He's getting... I wish he would drop the guy thing, but obviously that's not him. It's not his call.
Yeah. Now, we talked about this earlier. Next is your favorite match of the evening. Goldust and Fandango versus R-Truth and your buddy from Pentacon, Tyler Breeze.
Penticton.
Oh, excuse me, Penticton.
I wish I lived in a place called Pentagon. Yeah, it's kind of one of those filler matches, but they are getting on TV, so it was no point. No, I don't know what the story is because I really don't give a crap.
I know it's weird.
I didn't really pay attention.
I was gonna say this was just a quick match, and R-Truth and Tyler Breeze win. I don't know what they're doing because remember R-Truth was originally with Goldust as Golden Truth.
Yeah, I seen they were a tag team, but
and now they like switched it where it's Goldust and Fandango, and now it's R-Truth and Tyler Breeze as a tag team. I don't really get it.
Yeah, well, I guess they must have done stuff on SmackDown because I don't watch SmackDown, and I really don't care. I like R-Truth, though. I've always liked him.
Yeah.
And
he's very
Goldust
super
too,
talented.
And Goldust, he's...
Yeah,
but
I always liked Goldust. I always thought he didn't get his fair shake back in the 90s when he could have been a main eventer, you know?
Exactly. That's when he first came, the very first time he showed up on TV, because Goldust, I'm back then, and I'm pretty good at it. I know exactly who everybody is. Like when Doink the Clown first showed up, I'm like, oh, I know who that is. And I was like, who the hell is this? And only time I ever got fooled, I didn't know who it was for the longest time.
And I don't know if you remember this, his debut match was in BC.
Was it? Oh, I didn't know about that.
It was it was against Marty Jannetty on one of those In Your Houses.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure it was in BC.
I just remember his promos because he had or his vignettes, I guess they called it back then. I guess they still have them once in a while. They had those for about a month before he showed up.
Yes.
Who the hell is that guy?
I know. It was so weird. You couldn't figure out who it was. But moving right along, we had Stephanie cut a promo in the back. And eventually, if I remember correctly, Owens and most of those guys come back there. And they set up a three-way for the pay-per-view. Cesaro, Miz, and Owens for the Intercontinental title. However, if Sami Zayn can win his match later in the evening against The Miz, it would become a fatal four-way. Which I figured they were going to do all along.
Yeah. We've seen that a mile away. Just got to put the pieces in place.
Yeah, and, what do we call it? You got to fill up the time.
But I'm all good with that. The fatal four-way ladder match is probably what it'll end up to be.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I'd be really good with those four.
Yeah, I think so too. All right. Next we had Charlotte versus Paige. I kind of chuckled when I saw Paige come out. I said, "Oh, Nixie's probably excited."
Yeah, I think she fell asleep by then, probably.
Yeah, but this is a really good match because I was going to say Charlotte and Paige have good chemistry.
They do. It was another good women's match, and they're getting time again, which is always nice sometime, instead of the old 2 minutes in.
Yeah, they're getting like a whole segment.
I don't mind women's wrestling when it's done good, but you can sure tell when it's done bad.
Oh, God, yeah. And the part of this that made me laugh was Rick eventually comes out, and then Shane McMahon's music hits, and Shane and a bunch of these referees come out to like almost ring him in like cattle.
Yeah.
And he, like you said, he's having the infamous Ric Flair freak out, like the.
He's great. Kind of takes away from the women, though, but still, it also makes people that don't really want to watch the women's wrestling, but are Ric Flair fans, now they got to watch the women's matches.
Absolutely.
So it works out for both. And, yeah, you can't go wrong with Ric Flair.
No, and I actually like Charlotte much better as a heel.
I wasn't too impressed with her when she first showed up. but she's proved that she can work and she can talk, and
I just think a heel. She's better as a heel.
most definitely.
Like it doesn't work as a babyface to me. Hey, Rich, how's it going, man? How are you? Anyway, Paige beats Charlotte with, I guess you call it a schoolgirl instead of a schoolboy.
I guess that's what it would be. Yeah, I never thought about that.
Beat her with a schoolgirl, but it was funny because I was in that chat room last night, and the first thing I said to Rygal when Paige won, I said, Nixie and everybody over there will be excited now.
Or complaining. Well, isn't she in the main event now? They love her over there. I can't. I try not to say anything bad about her because people jump right on me.
I think it's because she's the UK's version of the Hearts.
Yeah, because her mother wrestled. Her dad was a promoter. Both of her brothers are wrestling over there now.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
As the UK Hooligans, and they're only like.
Yeah, I'm not really familiar with them.
They're kind of like two big brawler guys. I kind of like the Nasty Boys, say maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, and they don't do much wrestling. They just do a lot of fighting, and
okay. Yeah, because I just know of the name. I've never actually seen them.
I've only seen videos too. Yeah. Okay. Well, you haven't seen any videos, obviously.
All right. Next we have Sami Zayn versus The Miz. I actually thought this was a good match because. Oh, hang on one second. We have Rich calling in. I'll add him to the group. Hello?
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, what's going on, Rich?
Hey, how's it going?
Hey,
my
Lance.
buddy Lance, Rich.
Hey, Lance, how you doing?
Good. Good. Talking Raw.
We're just sitting here talking about, we just moved on to Sami Zayn and The Miz.
Yes.
What I was getting ready to say is people might dislike The Miz, but if you put him with a decent guy that can work, he'll usually put out a pretty good match.
Just think about this for 1 second, though, guys. Okay? Kevin Owens could be a great heel, but nobody really hates him, right? Like, he's good at being a heel, but we, the IWC fans, we really don't hate him, right? So you have Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Cesaro, who were all internet darlings and from ROH, right?
Yeah.
Who are over big with the crowds. At least I'm not saying the casual ones. I'm talking about like the guys like us, right? And who's the perfect guy to just interject right there as the heel in that story? The Miz. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're right, because I don't know about you guys, but when I see him on TV, I'm just like, oh, like it's just instant hate.
Yes, exactly.
I'm not a fan of The Miz, but he can hold his own when need be. And like you said, though, you got all those guys in there, and then The Miz. It's like,
so The Miz is like the perfect heel to put in there with these three other guys.
It's true when you think about it.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say, I thought they had a pretty good match last night, him and Sammy.
Yeah, they work pretty good together. They've wrestled like 3 or 4 times now, and the matches haven't been bad at all.
Yeah, I think if you give someone like The Miz someone that can kind of work with him, he can put together a pretty good match.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, I'm not going to go pay to see him, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, exactly.
But Sami Zayn eventually wins this match and is set up into the Fatal 4-Way at Extreme Rules. We were just trying to figure out before you called, Rich, what kind of stipulation they're going to use. Maybe a ladder match?
Yeah, I heard you guys say that, but then I'm thinking they just did this at WrestleMania. Even though that now WrestleMania is looking like it was a show that never actually happened. so
Yeah.
So they just did it at WrestleMania. So I mean that'd be the best way, the best match for them to have. But I'm not sure that they'll do it because they just did it. But then again, this is WWE. It's like you'll like it.
TLC match, which is basically just a ladder match, anyways, but with a different name.
Right.
Maybe.
But they have a whole pay-per-view dedicated to that, so I don't know.
Yeah, but like you said, Rich, they do you don't remember this, so it never happened.
Yeah.
WWE logic, we all got...
yeah, you're all supposed to forget it never happened.
that old age lady forget disease. Wow, what the hell is that? Alzheimer's, that's what they think we have.
Yeah, there you go.
WWE logic, 2 + 2 is 5.
Exactly.
All right. Next, we had Becky Lynch cut a promo. Emma interrupts her, I'm assuming to set up their feud. And eventually, Dana Brooke comes from behind and beats her up. I was surprised that, because you know how the IWC is. You hear the rumors that she was going to debut, and I was actually shocked that it happened.
To crickets, by the way, because it was like people were like, "Who is that?"
I was actually in that boat. I didn't know who that was.
Harry, that was in the chat with me last night, Rich, was like, "Who is that?"
Yeah, like you know her from NXT if you watch it, but
I don't watch NXT as much as I should. So
the crowd there gave no reaction.
Yeah, and she changed her hair too, because she had that that platinum color hair, the grayish looking hair for a while, and then now she went back to being a straight blonde.
Yeah.
That's why I had to do a double take, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm assuming that this is one or two things will happen, because now that Vince came out on the conference call and said that 13 new people will be debuting within the next 30 days in WWE.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he said the obvious Cena, Rollins, and Bray Wyatt will be back in the next month or so.
Yeah. And
that 13 new people will be showing up, and they're going to have the biggest roster they've ever had ever.
So that means who's getting cut?
Or that maybe means the brand split. They need more guys to split the brand. That probably makes sense.
So I don't know if this means that Bayley shows up, because, they kayfabed her, saying that she tore an ACL or something at one of those tapings for NXT.
Yes, I remember that.
So it was a kayfabe thing, really. She didn't really do anything bad to her leg, but I don't know if that means Bayley shows up to team up with Becky. I don't know if Becky and Sasha get back into bed together as partners for a little while. So,
man,
that's what's so good at the moment about wrestling is we don't know. It's nice that we don't know, because that's the best thing about wrestling is surprises and new stuff.
Yeah.
I was going to say, you talk about somebody that has done absolutely nothing since WrestleMania has been friggin' Sasha.
Oh, gosh. She wrestled one match against Summer Rae the night after, and that was it.
Yeah, I'm like, what are they doing?
Mm-hmm.
I think they're a little choked at her for something. I think she was blabbing her mouth on somewhere and
I remember she did trash Total Divas, where she was like, yeah, you'll never see me on there.
Yeah, and Vince is like, oh, guess who our new girl on it's going to be now, Don't want to piss off Vince. He seems like a very vindictive person, so he don't care. It's not like he's not rich.
Exactly.
But Bayley would make sense if, they kayfabed her out with that injury.
Right. They kayfabed her out, and I think they might have to bring her in, because then Asuka smashes poor Alexa Bliss's nose in a live event match over the weekend.
Oh my God, did that look nasty?
You saw
I didn't see that.
Oh,
didn't see that.
Yeah, she hit her with it was a high knee, right, Rich?
Yeah, she did the Seth Rollins on her.
Okay. Well, I'm sure it's up there somewhere on the internet.
Yep. And it was like a bloodbath. They had to stop it because of blood loss.
Yeah, I didn't know she bled that bad.
So, if it's made for Bayley to come in, then good. And if they want to keep Bayley and Becky away from Sasha and Charlotte until next year's Mania, if they could find a way to do that, and then they have the fatal four horsewomen match for the title, that'd be awesome.
Oh yeah, that
would be.
Yeah, that has.
I'm
money
all in on that
all
one.
over it.
Yeah,
I'm in on that 100%.
I'm figuring they'll have Emma and Dana Brooke against Bayley and Becky at the maybe that's where they're gonna go.
Well, let's hope.
Yeah,
because I remember the night after Raw, everybody was the night after Raw. Excuse me, the night after Mania. People were like, "Where's Bayley? Okay, now is she coming out? No, she's not."
Make it when she does show up. It's going to be so much more special. Like, where is she? Oh, finally! It's like waiting for Christmas.
Exactly.
Like Christmas doesn't happen. You got to wait another week.
That's how I felt the whole time when they were tormenting us before they finally gave us Enzo and Cass.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, moving on. We had, and Lance hadn't seen this because he doesn't watch SmackDown. The Make Darren Young Great Again promo.
I did see that on the internet, though.
Okay.
Somebody put that right up on the internet, and I think this is awesome.
I just ask you both a question?
Sure.
Just because I think I have a half-decent mind, right? Make Darren Young great again. When was he great to begin with?
Exactly.
yeah, but that's funny. But I like Bob Backlund. I bet he could probably go in the ring and wrestle half of those people in there, put on a better match.
And
absolutely.
He's just batshit crazy too.
But he's in insane shape, though.
Yeah.
I seen an old show. I think it was last year, or maybe it was 2 years ago. That they had. It was just all old guys. Like they had. Ken Patera was on it, and just really old guys. And Bob Backlund wrestled, and it was like, holy crap! He was out there just doing flips and flops, and it was really good.
That's amazing that he can still do that.
Yeah.
He's got to be in his late 60s. I think he's Bob Flair's age, probably.
I'll tell you a funny story. I met Bob Backlund when I was in high school. I was like 16, I'll say. And they had a show at my old high school. And I was waiting for guys to come out, and he eventually comes out. And I shook his hand, and I'm like, oh, nice to meet you, Mr. Backlund. And he goes, you said Mr., right? I said, oh, yeah, of course. Well, someone else started like heckling him, calling him by his real name, and as soon as he stopped shaking my hand, he went like batshit crazy on him. Started like screaming and yelling at him.
So you got a promo from him right there.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Awesome.
I guess his thing back in the days, people would come up to him and ask him for their autograph, and he would say, "How many presidents do you know?" They'd be like, "What?" He'd make him pass a quiz before he...
Yeah, he'd ask them stuff like, who was the 19th president of the U.S.? And then they'd be like, well, I don't know. And they'd be like, well, then I can't give you an autograph. Beat it.
Yeah.
And it was funny because he said that whole time he always had that set up to be like his future heel character, which then later on turned out to be just that when he was Mr. Backlund.
Yeah, we worked it perfectly then.
Exactly.
All right, well, moving on, we had Zack Ryder cut a promo basically saying about how he wanted another chance and all this kind of crap. Owens interrupts, makes fun of him, and it sets up a match between these two guys.
That was the piss break back match for me, just so you know. I already knew exactly what was going to happen. Like, seriously, but did you ever have any doubt in your mind that Kevin Owens was going to win that match?
Oh, yeah, there was no doubt.
So,
you never know with Ryder now, though. They might sneak one in on you. Put him in the match, too. No, we all knew who was going to win that one.
Yeah, I mean, Zack Ryder went from that one moment at WrestleMania where he wins the Intercontinental title then violently rips a cowboy hat off of his head and throws it in the ground that his father put on his head.
That was just so weird.
Yeah.
What was that? What happened?
When he won the title, that his father came in the ring and was hugging him, his father put on his father had a cowboy hat on that he was wearing, and he put it on Ryder's head, and Ryder like violently grabbed it off his head and threw it on the ground. Like, the fuck. I was like, wow.
Yeah, like it was a shoot.
Yeah, I was like, was he gonna punch his father in the face now? Like,
yeah, like he looked like he was really angry. Like, why the fuck did you do this?
That's funny.
Oh my god, but I actually feel bad for Ryder because it was like they threw him a bone, and then it's like, no, we changed our mind.
Well, hey, at least he's back on TV.
Well, I mean,
making more money.
He's back at NXT now with. I mean, even though we saw him this past Monday, but I guess he's flip flopping between the two.
Oh god, him and Mojo Rawley make me want to bang my head up against the wall.
Yeah, and I don't know if you ever got to watch if any of you guys got to watch that Breaking Ground or whatever it was called that they had about NXT.
Yes.
When Zack Ryder said that his ticket to the main roster could be with Mojo, to him getting a push again would be with Mojo Rawley, and I'm like, dude, that's like saying you're gonna fight a war of 10,000 people and you're gonna bring just you and your brother, because that's not gonna happen. That is not your ticket to any push in the main roster.
No. Unless your brother owns a battleship or something, I don't know.
Exactly.
Go to war.
Have you seen them on NXT, the Hype Bros, Lance?
No, like I said, I don't. I watch all the NXT specials, but I don't watch it as much as I should, and I'm the one that always complains. I want to see more wrestling, and then there it is. And I got the net; I can watch it anytime I want. So the only person to blame is myself. So
it's the fastest hour on television.
Yeah, it really is. You know what it reminds me?
It's only an hour.
Yeah, it's only an hour. That's what makes it great.
That's even less. That's a bit less of an excuse for me. I'll watch it. I'll watch it next week. I promise.
It reminds
me. Tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow it's on.
Right.
I was gonna say it reminds me of the old ECW Hardcore TV.
Yes, exactly. And you know what was great about ECW Hardcore TV and NXT now? Every week you got new matches, because the same guy that you saw last week, unless it was a recap that they were doing, was not wrestling this week. And that's the great thing about NXT.
Yes.
And Samoa Joe was in the main event against Eric Young this past week. Tomorrow, I don't know who's going to be facing who, but I know it will not be Samoa Joe nor Eric Young on the show.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I'll
steal Dino's joke. NXTNA. No, is it?
It really is. All the TNA guys are taking over.
Well, they grabbed all the great TNA guys, though, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Grab anyone that was bad. They grabbed their best.
Yep.
Well, Eric Young, I like him, but so was Samoa Joe versus Eric Young. I gotta watch that. I definitely gotta start watching NXT.
Absolutely. All right. Next, we had, and I hate this name. We had The Family cut a promo. Which, if you're not familiar, everyone out there, it's Roman Reigns and the Usos.
I don't know what's worse, The Family or The Club.
I know, they're running neck and neck.
Like, at this point, I wish they just call them Gullik Blub or something. Just anything but The Club.
Well, I watched that promo with Reigns, and I'm listening, and I'm like, oh my god, this is awful.
Yeah.
Well,
you're going to have to inform me, Mike, because right when I saw Roman Reigns come on the TV, and I was like, I hit the mute button for a second because I was doing something, and I was just like, yeah, whatever. I didn't even know what he said.
I don't remember exactly what it was word for word, but I just kind of like tuned out. I was just like, ugh.
Well, that's Reigns for you.
Anything, like all his fucking promos are, but he didn't say the guy.
It wasn't the common man speech, was it? Oh, he's just so forgettable. It's like, but it's not his fault. He's probably reading script or cue card in front of him, and that's got to be horrible for him to have to these scripted lines that are not him. You can tell he the person that hates it the most is him.
Well, all I could say is, your career isn't going anywhere. When Mitch the Plant is getting chance, and you're not.
Yeah, we were just talking about that Mitch the Plant was getting bigger pops than some wrestlers.
Yep.
Yeah, but I think Vince likes Roman a little more than Mitch, so that's the way it is, isn't it? It's not how good you are, it's who you know. And
Absolutely.
Who likes you. It's always been that way, and it always will be, but that's wrestling.
All right. Next, we had Sin Cara versus Rusev.
And Rusev lost this match. Why?
That's what my thought was. You're building him up to be this like monster again, and then it's like, yeah, let's let you lose to a guy that hasn't been on TV for 6 weeks.
Well, shouldn't Sin Cara be the number one contender now too?
Yeah.
You just beat the champion. It should be a three-way.
I don't know. That's one of those things that I don't know what's happening, but I'm scared of what might happen with the U.S. title picture.
It's just so bad.
I know.
They're just waiting for Cena to come back. That's what it is. They're just filling in time till Cena comes back on Memorial Day.
Well, I had mentioned this yesterday in the chat I was in, that it almost feels like they're going to have Rusev beat Sin Cara at the pay-per-view, and then Cena beat Rusev when he comes back on Memorial Day.
Exactly. Well, and you know what? As much as I may not be a John Cena fan, I'm actually very open to that idea, because that U.S. title has fallen from grace like faster than the WCW title had more meaning when David Arquette won it than the U.S. title has now. So
I've said it for forever. Cena can be the 5-year U.S. champion as long as he's not in the main event scene anymore. I'm happy with that. And the U.S. title open challenges were awesome. I really liked them. Cena's best stuff.
I agree.
yes.
I mean, Sin Cara had a really good match here with Rusev. I just didn't understand the point of him winning if you're trying to build up a monster again.
I don't know. And I just hope that it doesn't lead to all of a sudden Sin Cara screws Kalisto. Why? Because he was jealous?
I think the more word you would use is like, does anyone care?
No, probably not, but...
His mask has more glitter on it. That's why I attacked him. Something stupid like that. I'm thinking they're setting up maybe
remember. There for a while, Sin Cara was wearing like a black mask.
Yeah, I thought to myself, holy shit, he's going to turn.
That's what I thought. I was like, well, if he wears the black mask, then he's like the evil guy now, and that kind of made more sense.
Right, but then at WrestleMania, he came out white as an angel. I was like, okay, well, there went that idea. Because I figured that Ryback wasn't going to beat Kalisto, and I thought they would have a Sin Cara and Kalisto program for the title or something.
Yeah.
But it looks like they'll just have a program where, I'm not saying they're setting that up because who knows what they're doing, but if they do, it'll just be, meaningless matches. It won't have any meaning, just two ex-partners that accomplish nothing together, fighting each other.
Hit two Marty Jannettis.
There you go.
It'd be a good match, though.
Oh, absolutely.
But like you said, what's the point?
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say.
Unless they have a mask match, take the mask off. That's the only way of
that'd be
to have one.
And then Sin Cara loses, and he goes, look, it's me, again. Remember?
It's me, the other Sin Cara, the one that doesn't botch.
Yeah.
Sin Cara 2 is definitely better than Sin Cara 1, isn't it?
Oh, my God, he's so much better.
And
well, I always thought...
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I always thought, when the first Sin Cara, he's botching... I'm like, well, damn, they turned the lights off on him, It's like, no wonder he's screwing up. The lights are off.
Oh, man.
They just had those stupid blue lights.
Right, and those stripper lights that he used to wrestle with.
Yeah.
And a real quick history lesson, right? You remember that Sin Cara, the original one, before he came to WWE, was Mystical.
Yes.
Right? The guy who's Sin Cara now was originally Mystical. Then, in Mexico, how it works with the characters that they go through court and everything.
Yes.
They took it off of him and put it on the guy who came to WWE.
Yeah, Hunico, or however you say his name, right?
Yeah. And so it was weird because it was like the two Mysticals then became the two Sin Caras too.
That is weird.
Yeah, I like Hunico. Always have.
Yeah, all right. Next, we had. I actually thought this was going to be the main event, but they decided to have it earlier. Was the family versus WWE's version of the Bullet Club.
Well, they did an elimination during the
this
commercial.
was an elimination match.
Yeah, they did an elimination during the commercial. Michael Cole said at one point, "What if Roman Reigns gets left in there on at a disadvantage of 3-on-1? Could he survive?" The same guy who wiped out a whole team by himself at Survivor Series a few years ago. So, just
they are just killing Anderson and Gallows the way they're booking them.
Yep.
Like, if you have this new group or, entity come in, you want to make them look like they're not monsters, but they're like that they could destroy everybody.
Hall and Nash, 96. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, why else bring them in, right?
Because that's the first thing I said when I knew it was elimination. I said, they're going to job Anderson and Gallows out and make them look weak, and eventually have Roman where he's fighting off more than one guy to make him look strong.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's WWE Vince logic, you know.
That's exactly what I said last night, Rich, I was like, when I saw this match, I said, I thought of CM Punk's podcast when he had with Colt Cabana, and he's like, you guys, you got to make Roman look really strong. That's the first thing I thought.
Yeah. I don't know. They're just trying to do anything possible to get Roman over as the guy, the babyface, the everything, and it's at least in the babyface aspect of it, is not working.
Yeah, I agree with what Denon said. They're making them look like shit.
They are.
They really are. But those that aren't familiar, Reigns eventually wins by disqualification because Anderson and Gallows come out and attack Roman, and he eventually spears Anderson and Gallows, and they do the thing with AJ, like where they have that stare down. Oh, you want to use the chair? Go ahead.
Yeah.
That was just weird too.
I didn't mind that part, actually. It's kind of like who's the good guy thing, right?
Yeah.
Are you the good guy, or am I the good guy? Are you the bad guy? The guy that grabs the chair and nails him is the bad guy, and neither of them wanted to be. And I didn't mind that part.
Yeah, it's just odd how they're booking it, you know?
Very much so.
I don't know where they're gonna go.
Well, that's the thing. We don't know where they're going, so I like it.
All right, we have some breaking news that Dino is reporting in the chat. An unconfirmed rumor that the Brooklyn Brawler has been released.
Oh no!
Oh yeah, I somebody sent me that link and I put it up on the group page, and they say after 30 years of service he's gone.
And he was just about ready for his title shot.
Which reminds me, while I'm thinking about this, before I forget, I'm going to give a cheap plug here to the Radicals Roundtable Facebook group that myself and Rich are in. If anyone would like to join, we do news, promo battles, all that kind of good stuff. You can find us on Facebook. It's Radicals with a Z on the end, so you can find it.
Thank you.
I forgot my cheap plug. You just reminded me. I'm turning into Mick Foley.
You got a pop for me. There you go.
And they said PWN Acer is reporting. PWI Insider reported his release last week.
Well, I didn't even know. I thought that was all a big joke when he was actually working for him and he was released. Is that what? Or is it a big joke? I really don't know.
Well, Rikishi said in his shoot that he was the guy that would go get everyone food.
Wow. Oh, well, why would they release that guy? You needed one of those guys.
Well,
yeah,
that's
he
just
was
proof.
like the gopher.
Yeah,
perfect.
That's just proof that Pat Patterson doesn't have any more backstage control.
Yeah, really.
Because the rumor, and it's only a rumor that I've never confirmed, that Brooklyn Brawler and Pat Patterson were like lovers on and off for years.
Relations.
Yeah, so
that's been a long time rumor, but nobody's been able to confirm it.
I don't know about that. Pat had his boyfriend, and they were actually pretty loyal to each other. I heard, like married couples. So
yeah, well, you know how it is. There's always some type of rumors.
Yeah.
Well, hey, the boys got ring rats, and Patterson got the brawler. So there you go.
That's terrible.
That's a lose-lose for everybody, isn't it? Jeez.
Yeah, you ain't kidding there. All right, next we had Rich's piss break match, which was Ryder versus Owens.
Go ahead, fill me in. I have absolutely nothing on this because by the time I took back in, it was over. You didn't miss anything.
It was a quick match that Owens won.
Yep.
Perfect the way it should be.
Hey, like you said, at least Ryder's on TV.
There you go.
All right, next we had Big Cass cutting a promo in the back talking about this was like his big moment, you know, when, you know, before we found out the outcome of the main event, you kind of thought so.
Yeah, they kind of pulled the rug out, didn't they? But I still like it. I think this Big Cass might be one of my new favorite guys. I'm not a Enzo fan, but I like Big Cass.
I like them both. But in the beginning of the show, the one thing, I don't know if you guys touched upon this, that made absolutely no sense between the promo between Jericho and Cass was when Cass said, "You may be the best in the world at everything you do, but I'm 7 feet tall." And I'm like, so what?
Yeah, I saw that, and I was like, what?
You ever been in a fight with a 7-foot-tall dude? Jesus Christ, it don't matter. The guy can fall on you and he'll kill you.
I guess that's the logic he was going for, because I was like...
You can punch him in the face 20 times, but if he falls on you, you're dead.
Yeah.
But I was really surprised how Big Cass has been able to cut good promos.
Well, I mean, if you watched his the old NXT stuff, that when he was with Enzo, he used to be a lot more vocal when they did interviews. It's just that they, later on down the road, they were like, all right, Enzo's clearly the better talker.
Yes.
So he'll say this, and Cass will just say a couple of things here and there. But in the inception of their tag team, he actually spoke a lot, and he's pretty good.
Yeah, maybe it's just because I'm used to Enzo doing most of the talking.
Right.
But I was impressed, and, if he could talk and being 7 foot tall, Vince will fall in love with him.
Exactly. He meets the merits.
Yeah.
Long, 7 foot tall with long wet hair, just like Vince likes it.
Yeah, he's just like Kevin Nash. But after that, fellas, we had New Day cut a promo, which eventually leads to New Day versus the Dudleys.
Yeah, same match basically that they've had. They don't have bad matches, but.
My God, did you see the clothesline Devon threw at fucking Kofi Kingston?
Yeah.
Whew.
I bet you Bradshaw was like, yes!
Did you see that, Lancey? About damn near took his head off.
Yeah, well, Devon's always been good. He's stiff, and they're all a little stiff and don't mind. And the Dudleys never not laid in it, right?
No. The thing I liked about this was they actually got the Vaudevillains some heat.
Yeah, because they
tried to.
Yeah, because they're the team that's going to face New Day, so they should be trying to focus on getting more heat on them as time goes along. The only thing is that the Vaudevillains, I don't know if they should have somebody else there with them for at least for this match. You get what I'm saying? Yeah,
like a third person.
Right, because now that even though that New Day is a face, they're still 3. And they outnumbered everybody else they face. So that'll be interesting going forward to see how they do, what they do, or what their plan is with that.
Yeah, because remember in NXT Takeover Brooklyn, I think it was when they faced Alexa Bliss and Blake and Murphy. They added blue pants.
Right.
So who knows? That'll be
well, who would they add though? Right, that's the thing.
I know. I don't know.
Well, Aiden English could call his mother-in-law, Vicky Guerrero. Ask her to make an appearance.
Who do he call?
Aiden English could call Vicky Guerrero, his mother-in-law.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, Aiden English is married to Eddie Guerrero's daughter.
Yeah, Shaul Guerrero. Yeah.
What happened to her? Isn't she supposed to be a good wrestler or something? I haven't.
Yeah, something happened that she got cut from their development from NXT.
Yeah, they said she had like some kind of like issues going on.
Yeah.
There must have been some pretty big issues because I'm pretty sure WWE would give Eddie Guerrero a chance, wouldn't they? Just because of Eddie.
Yeah, I don't know what happened, but in this match, eventually the Vaudevillains interrupt and the Dudleys get the win.
Mm-hmm.
Which I didn't mind because, like I was mentioning, it gets some heat, leading up. Because we only have 1 week left till the pay-per-view.
Exactly. So they need to get some more heat on the Vaudevillains. Have them do something. Or attack Xavier so maybe he's not a factor in the match. I don't know.
And they probably had plans with Enzo and Cass, right? So they got through, scrap all that. So.
Yeah, because who knows how long he's going to be out.
Right.
Because, concussions are a weird thing.
Yeah,
they could be a week or they could be a year.
Exactly.
Or forever.
Yeah, because that's what happened to not Alex Riley, the guy that's on Corey Graves. I couldn't think of his name. He had to retire because of multiple concussions.
Oh, is that what it was? Okay.
He only had 2. It's just that second one was really bad, I guess.
Oh, I see. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, he only got 2 concussions. I know when they did that ESPN clip, they made it seem like he bumped his even when he woke up in the morning and he turned his head, he got a concussion, but it was only 2.
Yeah, well, that's 2 they know about.
Yeah,
right. I'm sure he's had many that weren't documented.
Yeah, well, that's why he had to quit because his brain was like Swiss cheese.
Yeah, so that's what they told him. You're medically disqualified because once they see things like that, they're not going to have another Benoit thing on their hands. You know what I mean?
And the thing was, they had like huge plans for him. Like they wanted him to be the face of NXT.
Well, he is in terms of commentating.
Yeah, I just can't stand the guy they put him with now, Tom Phillips. Ugh.
Oh God. What they need to do is, somebody said this the other day, they need to just get rid of everybody, right? And have Corey Graves and Mauro Ranallo do Raw and SmackDown.
Oh, that'd be phenomenal.
Oh, I'd miss Michael Cole screwing everything up and JBL's horrible jokes. At $9.99, watch the net every 10 seconds.
Yeah, imagine that, right?
Just Corey Graves calling Eva Marie's matches are hilarious.
Oh my God, that was hilarious.
Yeah, well, he's like telling Tom Phillips, like, basically, you shut your fucking mouth when she's doing things, okay? If you don't like it, you can leave. It's like, wow.
Or he's like, oh my God, what an amazing counter. Because she got the snot kicked out of her, Lance, a couple weeks ago against Asuka. That was worth watching.
Yes.
Yeah, that Japanese girl, she throws them in there, doesn't she?
She's hurt, like 3 people already, Rich?
Yeah, add Alexa Bliss to the list.
Yeah, she hurt Dana Brooke, I forgot. And Dana Brooke had been not wrestling for like 9 months?
Yeah, Mike, I think the last time Dana Brooke was in any capacity of a wrestling match was when she lost to Asuka in that NXT special.
Last fall.
Yeah, so, and she's never been in the ring since.
Yeah, if she's hurting people, I can't really see Asuka lasting too long. You don't want people in there that are hurting people. Down.
This is
unless she's being told to do that, right?
Well, I think they're telling her to work your style, but, I think she's not understanding. because this is the reason why people are like, why didn't they send Nakamura right to the main roster like they did with Gallows Anderson? This is exactly why.
Sorry about that. I was watching the hockey. Some guy got hit in the puck or something. He's got a second mouth on his face.
Ooh.
Oh, man.
Wow.
Sorry about that, guys.
But Nakamura, I agree with you. Nakamura, if they brought him up straight to the main roster with strong style, he wouldn't last long.
No, because he would have most likely concussed someone or God knows what. So even though that it seems that since he's been in NXT, everything's been okay, he hasn't hurt nobody. But they've also toned down his move a little bit. He doesn't do the knee like he did in Japan. He does it more like almost like a sweet knee music kind of thing.
Yeah, well, they toned down his finisher too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's not him running at you.
Whatever they call it.
Yeah.
Well, they toned down Kevin Owens when they brought him up, and it's worked. So I can't see why not with.
Yeah, they did tone him down
big time, but still.
Well, there's a couple, like when Nakamura wrestled Sami Zayn, where he took a nasty bump on his head.
Mm-hmm.
When he took that, it was the Blue Thunder Bomb.
Yes.
Because Ennis was worried that he was hurt.
Right. I remember watching it. I'm like, oh, shit, really? His first match, and this is out? He's going to go out already? Should he be the one?
The takeover match?
Yeah.
Yes, with Sami
Zayn.
Yeah,
oh, man, that was a great match. That was one of the best matches I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, well, and I got to give Nakamura credit because he is number 2 on WWEshop.com in terms of merchandise being sold.
Yes, I mentioned that the other day when I was doing a live thing.
Yeah, I had remembered reading that. New Day is the only one that is outselling him.
Yep. I just got his shirt last week too. So there you go. So
I wonder what his percentage is, though, right? If your percentage is 0.01 or your percentage is 15%, it depends on how many shirts, right?
Yeah, and it's completely sold out in Japan.
Yeah, I do know that. They sold out like hotcakes.
Mm-hmm.
But, all right, let's finish this up. We had the main event, Jericho versus Big Cass. I was amused at this at the beginning because Ambrose eventually attacks Jericho and takes his jacket that he wears.
The $15,000 jacket.
It was really $25,000.
Well, he paid $24,999 too much.
I know. Because I was going to say, when I looked at it, I was like, I think if I was like, knew how to do that stuff, you could make that for like $30.
Yeah, Mike, you remember the show that they did last fall in Madison Square Garden that they made it a network special?
Yes.
There was a guy sitting in the stands that had one of those jackets, and when you looked at the rest of his outfit, he just looked like a regular schlub that worked, anywhere where us regular schlubs would work, right? Yeah. So I'm like, this guy probably went and got a little lights or whatever, took an old leather jacket that he doesn't want anymore, and I'm pretty sure it didn't cost him $25,000 to make it. So.
Exactly.
I was listening to a Jericho podcast. He was talking all about the jacket. He says, it's not the lights that cost all the money. It's the computer, the little computer that controls it all, he says.
Okay.
It does flashes. He says it's got like 10 different ways it flashes. And he says the batteries cost a fortune just because they're so small.
Oh, okay.
Oh, well, that might be it then.
But
the 25 is a little steep.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but hey, everything wrestling. They obviously gotta, bump everything up.
Absolutely. What I was amused because Ambrose took it and then eventually rips it, and he's like, Jericho's freaking out.
I'm sure that's Jericho's 5th jacket in line that he wears, because I think he's got like 5 of them. So obviously that was the one he didn't want anymore.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And then the other thing I liked after Ambrose and Jericho got got it in, and Jericho goes to walk away. Big Cass steps in front of him, and Jericho just smacks the ever-living shit out of him. And, like, Cass grabbed him, and he's, like, screaming at him, "Why did you do that?"
Yeah, he's like, "Oh, you out your mind," something like that. I'm like, yeah, I think he legitimately pissed him off when he did that.
Yeah. But he sold it good.
Yeah, I liked it. I've seen people online complaining about, they're building a fight about somebody that wrecked someone's jacket. Let's just say, if somebody took my jacket and ripped it up, I don't care, man, especially if it was one of my favorite jackets.
Especially if it was an expensive jacket.
Yeah, it's a guy thing, man. You touch my jacket, dude? Like, come on.
Heck yeah, but I wonder where they're going to go if they're going to have a stipulation for Jericho and Ambrose.
I just hope they don't do the same thing that they do every time Jericho's going to vamoose for a while and say the loser gets fired.
Oh, God.
So...
Because I'm trying to think where they could go.
They're going to put Big Cass in this and have a triple threat, maybe? All three of them? That'd be cool, because Big Cass, obviously, I don't think he's got anything to do for Extreme Rules, and he's obviously moving up the charts.
Well, that's what's funny you mentioned that, because Jericho posted a picture on his Instagram of the messed up jacket, and he wrote something about Big Cass. He's like, I didn't forget about you, you big jackass, or something like that. So who knows?
I'm not much for triple threat matches, but that'd be okay. Because Jericho versus Cesaro.
Here you go, guys.
Ambrose again.
Dino says in the chat, the loser has to make Roman Reigns look strong.
So it's clearly going to be Jericho then.
Yeah.
Because Ambrose in the ring with him, no matter what he did, even if Roman Reigns squashed him, the crowd wouldn't get behind it.
Yeah. I also wanted to ask you guys, did you hear about the rumor that the WWE show in Hawaii is going to be on as a network special?
Yeah, it's been all over the internet all day that Brock Lesnar is going to face Kevin Owens, and supposedly Nakamura and John Cena is a thing.
Bash at the Beach.
Yes, that's what I heard they're going to call it, Bash at the Beach.
Wow.
That's original, isn't it? I guess they already own the name, so they don't have to trademark another.
Man, but it's like, do I really want to see Kevin Owens get squashed in like under 5 minutes?
Exactly.
Because that's all that's going to... I mean, look, I respect Brock and everything he can do, but at this point in his career, they just turned him into the suplex guy.
Yeah. I think what would happen there if that were to be the match that they're going to go with, Kevin Owens will just get like fed up after getting suplexed and just walk away like he always does.
Well, then that wouldn't be so bad.
Yeah. Because you don't want to bury him completely. Because I know that they make it seem like these network specials sometimes never happened once they happen.
Yeah.
So, because they did it with Roadblock, they were like, "Oh yeah, Saturday at Roadblock," and that's all they said. And then, if Dean Ambrose didn't come out cutting a promo talking about that he had lost there, you would have never known.
Exactly.
Well, well, Hawaii at least get themselves a show, so
well,
I'm in for
had
it.
A show. How long did they say it was, Rich?
In Hawaii?
Yeah.
I forgot, but it's been whew.
It was like at least 5 years.
Yeah. A good while, yeah.
And then the other match I read that they're probably going to have is Asuka against Charlotte.
Oh, God. Well, hopefully they got the belt off of Charlotte by then, because if not, they're going to have a tournament to crown a new champion.
She's going to take her strong style.
Yep.
Well, Charlotte better wear a football helmet with that big nose. Jeez.
Yep.
Got Flair's nose there. She better duck.
Yeah, duck and cover. Oh, man, but I think that could be a good special if those are the big 3 matches.
That'd be a great special.
Because I know they're planning to do one when they go back over to Japan.
Yes, where Nakamura supposedly will be facing Chris Jericho.
Yes, because that's who Jericho supposedly asked the office to work that he could work with him.
Wow, 'cause Jericho, you know how huge Jericho is in Japan. Many years there, so.
Yeah, and they had Jericho had a really good match when he was in Japan on the special last year.
With Neville.
Yes.
Yeah. The only problem with that was the finish.
Yes.
Because I was like, this is a one-off thing. Jericho's not a regular character weekly on the show. So why is he going over Neville?
I agree with you.
Well, I heard Jericho's actually kind of pissed off about that. He wanted to lose, and they wouldn't let him.
Huh.
Yeah.
I saw a
Jericho
picture
don't
of
care.
Neville. Have you seen the new picture of Neville? I was laughing when I saw it.
No, I haven't seen it.
Where he's grown like a little goatee or a beard, and it grew his hair longer. I didn't even know who it was.
Wow.
Was one of the Keebler elves.
The bad elf.
Hey, so what do you guys give a grade to Raw last night?
Oh.
If you could give it a grade.
C?
Yeah, I'm going C minus.
I'd go give it a C plus.
It wasn't. I will say this: it was better than last week. Me and Lance agreed on this.
No, last week
last week was horrible.
Shit show. But hey, like I said, one bad show out of 5. We've usually had one good show out of 5, right? So I'll
guess
take
we're just
it.
getting spoiled.
Yeah.
Well,
And how about Camp WWE afterwards?
yes, it was hilarious.
They used the F word there more than in the Wolf of Wall Street movie, I think.
Yeah.
Harry Balls 12 gives it a C plus.
Yes, he gives it a C plus. And Dino said that Neville looks like a guy from Def Leppard in 1993. That's pretty bad.
What, he got his arm cut off?
No.
Sorry, Dino.
Oh man, that's horrible. But no, I didn't think it was a bad show. I'm just curious to see where they're gonna go for the go home show.
Let's see, because they got some ground to make up, because they've been putting a lot of emphasis on the title match like they should. But why was it not featured in the last segment? I have no idea. Because why are they making it seem now like Jericho versus you know what, Mike, you asked me last week what type of match they'd have. I got it. The Good Housekeeping thing. There you go.
Oh God.
There you go.
Dan Streg gives Raw C.
Yeah, I could go along with that.
Well, it definitely wasn't a B. Definitely wasn't a D. So any C's would probably be good.
Now, you'll love this one. I'm reading the spoilers for SmackDown because they're still taping it. Here's some more 50-50 booking for you. Rusev got his win back.
Of course he did.
Oh,
he had to.
Now we're not going to want to watch SmackDown. Oh, crap.
Oh, wow.
Spoil it for me.
Dana must be cleared, Rich, because she's wrestling on SmackDown.
Yeah, I mean, of course she got cleared because she wouldn't show up on Raw just to be a manager.
Yeah,
but,
well, she's gonna wrestle Becky Lynch on SmackDown.
Oh, okay. But I'm just saying, look how long she was out just from one match with Asuka.
Like 9 months.
Yeah.
Oh man, poor Becky Lynch. She's sure getting shuffled down the line, isn't she? The main event to jobbing out now. It looks like.
Mm.
Well, I like Emma, so I don't mind that. I'm a big fan of heel Emma.
Well, that's the way wrestling is. You move your way up to the title. If you lose, you go back down, right? So,
right.
Like any sport, or boxing or UFC. That's what it should be.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, that thing Dino's saying there about Triple H signing a 3-year deal to wrestle.
That's weird.
Why would he have to sign a wrestling contract? Isn't he getting paid a lot already? I don't know, but is he double dipping?
That wouldn't shock me.
Yeah,
hey, good for him though.
That's how WWE works. They give sometimes 2 different types of contracts. Triple H has an executive and a performer Because I remember that they were analyzing that years ago when Dusty Rhodes started appearing on air again to like fight Randy Orton in that bull rope match and all that. And he got paid as a performer, a Legends contract, and a creative member. 3 checks. I was like, wow.
Hey, well, good for him. As long as Vince okays it, hey, I'm okay. He's the one that's writing the checks. Let him pay whoever he wants as much as he wants.
Yeah, because remember, Triple H was wrestling on the European tour.
Yes.
Because because when Bray Wyatt went down.
Mm-hmm.
And he's supposed to be back, I think, by the end of the month.
There you go.
Because he keeps teasing it on Twitter.
Yeah, well, that's to plant the seed, because I think it's going to lead to SummerSlam, Triple H and Shane.
Yeah.
For control of everything.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I'm okay with that. What's Shane going to jump off this time?
My fear, Rich, is they're going to have Roman Reigns versus Cena at SummerSlam.
Well, you know what? If that's the case, Mike, I just hope that, like we said last week, or maybe 2 weeks ago, that the match right before it is Enzo and Cass capturing the tag team titles.
Yeah, I remember. So the crowd just doesn't give a shit.
Yes, and they will blow the roof off of the Barclays Center when that happens, right?
Yeah.
That by the time that the Cena Roman Reigns match comes on, nobody will give. They'll probably start leaving. They'll be like, "Fuck this, let's go." So
they'd have to have that match on first, almost.
Yeah.
Roman and Cena. That way nobody leaves. But
Or they'll just be so wore out from being excited that they just won't get. The crowd will be dead.
Yeah, or they'll just do what they did last year at SummerSlam. They'll have Brock Lesnar in the main event against insert name here. I don't know who. Not Undertaker, but somebody.
Yeah, well, I keep forgetting Brock's contract. He's only got, I think, a year left.
Yep.
I think he's going to retire after this deal is up.
Well, he should. I mean, don't get me wrong that he's a great attraction and all that, but nobody wants to see him. At least I'll speak for myself. I don't want to see him again as champion. There's no reason for it. There's really nothing that he's really doing there except just shutting down whoever it is that he's fighting.
Yeah.
So that's not his fault. He's getting told what to do, right? Because he can care less. He'd go out there and get pinned every match as long as he's getting his $20 billion check. He don't give a crap.
Yeah, well, let me not make it sound like it's his fault, but it's creative, whoever, Vince. So Vince has put him in a way where now you don't think anybody believably can beat him, because clearly they can't, because he's an actual legit fighter, right? But even, the suspension of disbelief, you don't look at nobody on the roster right now and say, oh, okay, maybe Nakamura. And he could beat Lesnar.
Well, that's kind of good. It's like back in the day when Andre would roll around and you knew he ain't losing, and he didn't need the belt. But, I agree. It's kind of like, why is he here? Because he's obviously not going to lose unless it's to maybe Cena,
Here you go. Here's a good question from Harry. What will happen first? Charlotte dropping the women's title or Cena main eventing a pay-per-view?
Cena being the main event of the Money in the Bank pay-per-view if WWE had their way. Trust me, Charlotte will hang on to the belt till Brooklyn, and by then they might be, or let me come on and say there will be at least one match where John Cena is in the main event. Tag team partners with Roman Reigns versus the Balor Club or something. Because by that point, Finn Balor should be here.
You would think, yeah.
Right. After he's done putting over Samoa Joe in the cage match on the 8th of June, he should be good to go by then.
Hey, that's my birthday present, because that's my birthday. Balor against Joe in a cage.
Awesome.
I'm thinking Cena, he's going to do the U.S. title thing and run on that. So,
I hope so.
main events of that. So, and Charlotte, she's gonna hold the title for a little bit, I think, until Bailey shows up. I'm thinking.
Yeah, well, they were already see what they did yesterday. Also, was just plant that little seed there by having Paige win, because now they'll have Paige be her next short-term thing
Until
after
SummerSlam.
Right. Until she's done, until SummerSlam when Sasha rolls back into town. So.
Yeah, because I think they're going to let Sasha win the belt in Brooklyn.
They have to. If that wasn't the plan all along, then somebody in creative needs to get, like...
Yeah, they need to get fired.
Fired, castrated, I don't even... Insert horrible punishment here.
Okay, there's something else I also want to talk about. I forgot about Raw. Was they had another Epico and Primo vignette, and Harry had talked about this yesterday. It's like, what the hell are they supposed to be? Like travel agents for Puerto Rico? Or...
Yeah. The two guys that work for Vacation are coming to WWE.
And then it's like no one gave a shit about the bullfighter gimmick, and now no one's going to give a shit about this.
Yeah, and their name, the Shining Stars. So after all that, that's their name, the Shining Stars.
Oh.
Wow.
Two Spanish guys who have been talking about how much better Puerto Rico is than the U.S., but you're going to give them the All-American Shining Stars name. Okay.
Well, that's like we talked about. It was either last week or 2 weeks ago. How they're treating Wwe Jose. Oh
God, you say that, and all of a sudden I start to get a migraine.
Yeah.
Wwe Jose.
At least they changed his finisher.
Oh, that dance move thing that he did last week. Ugh.
You know, it's like that full Nelson into a slam.
Oh, but did you see how he set it up, though, Mike?
Yeah.
Like a dance move where he's like twirling the guy in. Oh, God. When I saw that, I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah.
It's like Adam Rose and Fandango mixed together.
Yep.
Oh, God.
Exactly, Lance. Exactly.
And just think about this, Lance. Those two guys that he just said, and then sprinkle a little bit of Armando Estrada, the guy that used to come out with Umaga, right on top of all that. There you go. That's what you got.
He's my new favorite.
Oh,
He's my new favorite guy.
You know what? Let's not talk bad about Wwe Jose because he's on NXT and then Lance won't watch for real. So
I promise I'm going to watch tomorrow. I promise you guys, I'm going to watch it tomorrow.
Yeah, well, and what's funny, released Alex Riley is in the main event.
Oh yeah, well, what's his name? Bull was showing was what, like 2 weeks after he was released, he was in the main event against Samoa Joe.
Yeah.
So at least they kept their continuity going on this.
Yeah, well, he gets to have fun and face Nakamura.
Yeah, and then the week after, they'll be like, Nakamura kicked his ass so bad that he quit NXT.
Yeah, Riley Rage took over. But I don't know if you saw this, Lance. I'm almost positive Rich did. Sandow got his first outside of WWE booking already.
I heard that. I don't know exactly what it is, but...
He's going to be at WrestlePro, right, Rich?
Yes, sir. That's the show I was going to. Well, let me not make it sound like I'm not going. I'm still going. I bought the tickets, I think, Sunday, and then yesterday, boom, it shows up that Sandow's going to be there.
He's going to be there, Hornswoggle, and Dutch Mantel.
Yeah. And so is Booker T.
They scooped up all the cuts and bring him to a show.
Well, Dutch Mantel was going to be there regardless, even before he got fired by WWE, because Booker T is going to be there as well. So it'll be funny now. Booker T, they'll be like, "Hey, listen, now that we're here together, how about you put in a good word for me? Get me back." So.
Well, yeah, because Booker has that kind of contract where he's allowed to do stuff outside of WWE.
Yeah, and I think the thing with Mantel was that he didn't really want to travel like that anymore. So that's really why he was let go.
Yeah, it's something with his health, right?
Yeah. Like JR. People think that WWE doesn't want JR back. They've asked him repeatedly to come back. And he doesn't come out and say it, but people who've interviewed him say that he's been asked to come back by WWE, and he's like, no, I can't deal with the travel no more.
And he sure doesn't want to deal with the bullshit
That too.
got put through. Jesus, poor JR. What a whipping boy from the WWE.
Yeah,
but
like,
he did it.
Remember how terrible it was when he had his like colon surgery? How they made fun of him.
Yeah, Vince was always a dick to him.
It was just crazy. But
there's funny, and then there's just damn right mean. You know.
Yeah.
It's like Vince thought it was funny. That's all that matters, right?
I was just gonna say that.
Because Vince, as told by many people, and you guys probably know this from listening to like other shows, you know, where people talk about Vince. Vince is a very big fan of shit and fart jokes and all that shit.
Oh God, yeah.
So he probably was having the time of his life doing that.
Yeah, well, he probably had the time of his life because remember Punk told that story on his podcast with Colt Cabana that he took too many Z-Packs and shit himself in the ring.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Vince was like, oh, it's funny.
Yeah.
Well, there's that one video of Vince. He actually, I guess he was on his way to the ring at gorilla position, let out a big giant fart to be funny, and he actually shit his pants. And it's actually on video. He goes out there anyways.
I've heard this
jumps
story.
In the ring, and you can see the big wet stain in his pants. And you can see how they cut the camera trying to... But he went out there. Jeez.
He no-sold it like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
That's how you got to do it when you're in public, guys.
Well, I don't know. If I own the company and I crap my pants, last thing I'm doing is going out there. You go. First guy you see, you going out there.
But I was going to tell you, Rich, Lance had... How long ago was it you went to a house show up your way in BC, Lance?
Oh, it was about a month and a half ago.
And he had like ringside seats.
Yeah, I was right in the corner. It was cool.
He said the only thing that sucks is the security is fucking terrible.
Oh, well, yeah, they threw one kid out. And it was horrible. Sin Cara come out. He was like on the top rope. You know, not Sin Cara, Stardust. And he was pointing at the crowd doing his rah, rah, rah. And this one kid, he wasn't a kid, he was about 20 years old. Big kid. He jumped up and he's like, big smile on his face. Oh, yeah, you want to fight? And Sin Cara, Stardust. He's like, yeah. And the security went over there and the guy's like, hey, come on. And he sat down. And then this time Stardust went all around doing the same thing to everybody. Come around, now he's on the floor. And he said to the kid, there you are again. Kid jumps up, big smile on his face. Yeah. The WWE security guy that looked just, kick that guy out. Kick him out. They threw him out. It was like, what the hell?
For being a fan. Jesus Christ.
And he was like the happiest guy in the whole arena because Stardust picked him to have this little, argument with. This guy wasn't jumping the barrier. He was standing there. Oh.
Hey, he's not stupid enough like that idiot in Philly that attacked Braun Strowman.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, seriously, out of all the people you would want to pick a fight with, why him?
Liquid courage, Mike. That guy must have been drunk off his ass.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, it's like, dude, you better bring 2 bats because the first one you break over him, he's just going to turn around. It's like...
Yeah, it's just going to piss him off.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I couldn't even imagine.
Like I said, Braun Strowman, he was like right in front of me. Like I could have touched him, but I wasn't gonna, obviously. And man, he's big boy.
And Lance is a big guy anyway, Rich.
Yeah, I'm not the smallest dude myself. I felt like a midget.
Wow.
But it's just wild. I'm excited for the pay-per-view just to kind of see where they're going to go.
Yeah, I want to see how extreme they actually do on Extreme Rules.
Well, because, usually every match has a gimmick.
Yeah, and so far they've only announced one match that actually has, outside of the submission match, but the AJ Styles and Roman Reigns match is the only match that actually has a gimmick attached to it.
Yeah.
because they've announced the tag team title match 2 weeks in a row, and they didn't say tables. They didn't say anything. So
yeah, I was reading rumors where they might want to try to prolong this Styles Reigns feud through Money in the Bank.
Oh, and then have the Money in the no, maybe not. I don't know. It could work. You know what was funny though? PWI Insider that some people swear by, that I laugh at because Meltzer and Alvarez are the worst. When they were saying that WWE didn't make it clear what type of match they were having, if it was going to be a cage match and I'm like, Vince McMahon and Shane McMahon said Extreme Rules match at the end of Payback. Like, what part didn't you get of that?
Yeah, which means basically just anything goes.
Exactly. Like, what do you mean the fans aren't sure? Just because you aren't sure? So
They must have forgot that part of the show.
I'm telling you, if you ever want to have a laugh, right, just read some of these reports. Like, Finn Balor said to be in town for Raw, but he may not make an appearance. And you're like, so why would he be there?
And who cares?
Yeah.
Or it's like he yells, "See you Monday," and everyone's like, "Oh, he's coming to Raw."
Yeah, he's trolling you, actually. So,
dude, I don't know if you know this, Lance, but he is the king of trolling people.
Who's that?
Finn Balor.
Finn Balor. Oh, yeah, I don't tweet or anything like that, so.
No, he just, the stuff you see from him online, like he took a picture of himself outside the Performance Center looking at his watch saying that his friends aren't here, talking about Anderson and Gallows.
Yeah.
And making it seem like they were going to show up in NXT with him, and they never actually showed up in NXT. They just went straight to the main roster. So he just does little things like that to mess with people, and everybody buys into it. Not everybody, but a lot of people buy into it.
A lot of smarks.
Yeah. Well, Chris Jericho got us with the old tweet that he was retiring, so we all said, I remember talking about that, saying, well, that's it for Chris Jericho. He got us. But, hey, that's cool.
Yeah, dude, he really got a lot of people.
Yeah.
Because one specific person that listens to this show was, like, freaking out because he's like, I got tickets to a live event and he's supposed to be there.
Well, yeah, the Winnipeg, and he only reason he got the tickets was to go see Jericho. I don't blame him if he's retiring, but like they always say, card subject to change.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you always have to read the fine print.
Exactly.
All right, everybody, we're gonna get out of here. Don't forget to like and follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. And we will catch you on the next one. Have a good night, everybody.
Take care, guys.
All right, take care.